Hey YouTube, it's Sonja here again. I just want to do a video on meal planning. I think I talked about this briefly in one of my other videos, but I wanted to elaborate a little bit more on meal planning in this video. I have been meal planning for many years, and I just wanted to share some quick tips. If you have tips on meal planning, please feel free to share with us so we can all learn. First of all, as most of us know, it's good to meal plan. One, because it saves time. Two, because it can save money. And three, everyone knows what they're going to eat. So that's always a good thing. I meal plan a week at a time. I used to do a whole month, which honestly was a lot easier for me. I'm just trying to get used to this weekly thing because I just switched maybe 3 weeks ago to doing it weekly. So it's still an adjustment, but it's going okay. So if you see me looking to the side, I have my iPad here and some books for my notes. So the first thing you want to do when you're meal planning is take inventory of the items that you already have, because you want to make sure that you use those in your meal prep. So if you have black-eyed peas already in your possession, then you want to go ahead and plan a meal around those black-eyed peas. Also, if you clip coupons, you might want to plan meals around your coupons to help save you a little bit more money. Another thing I find to be very helpful when making planning your meals is looking at your activities of your family. Like my son has Boy Scouts every Thursday. So usually Thursday is like a crock pot day. Or a soup day. We usually always have soup on Thursday or something that can be prepared in the crock pot. So when we all get home, it's pretty much prepared and they can go ahead and eat and prepare for Boy Scouts, after homework and everything is done. So that's always a good thing, a crock pot night, or you can have a taco night or breakfast for dinner night to make things kind of easy. You could plan them for whatever day you guys have lots of activities, or if you don't want to be home, aren't going to be home. So always look at the calendar to see what's going on as I'm meal planning. After I fill in, like I said, I used to do it on a monthly basis. So then I would, say Thursday, I would look for a soup to prepare and just fill in my whole Thursday. Show you. Like if you use a calendar like this, you can just fill in your Thursdays with your different soups. So that takes care of Thursday. Or if you have fish a couple times a week, go ahead and fill in those days that you're going to have the fish. I always do those type of things first. Or if you already have something on hand that you can make a dish around, go ahead and fill that in first, and then you can fill everything else in. I find that to be the easiest way for me. So after you do that, you want to turn to your cookbooks. Now I'm trying emails. I just started trying that about 3 weeks ago. That's why I went to weekly planning instead of monthly. I wanted to give it a shot, and you only get your meal plans for a week at a time. So I'm giving that a shot. I've never done any kind of subscription for meal planning before. I've always done it on my own. So this is something new to me. So even though they supply 7 meals for dinner, 9 times out of 10, those 7 meals aren't going to work for me. So I always have to find something else to fill in those other days. So that's where you turn to your cookbooks. And I have a video showing the different cookbooks, some of my cookbooks that I use, and these are all pretty much the same. There's a vegetarian meal book. I have a Mediterranean prescription cookbook, and this cancer fighting kitchen cookbook, which is good for anybody. This is a really good book to have on hand. And then you can always pull from the recipes that you already have. So I have a binder. Here's one of my binders with different recipes in it. So you might want to go through there. And also include your family. Get your family involved and ask them for ideas for what they like to for dinner, and then you can go ahead and fill those columns into your meal plan. You want to write out your menu and save. So I still type in my menus, and I type them on a calendar like this. I don't necessarily type out my menus anymore. Print out my menus anymore. I just keep them saved on my computer, because now, since I'm doing it weekly, I post everything on my dry erase board. Here's one that I've started for this week. So I just post everything here. But I save everything on my computer, what I fixed, because I can always go back and look what I fixed in the past. Like, there are some times when I'm just stuck. I don't know what I'm going to fix. And I usually go through phases with things. Like, I'll fix something and all of a sudden I'll stop fixing it. And I can go look at my menus that I've saved and it's like, oh, we haven't had that in like months. Let me pull that out and fix that for them. So that's why I save on my computer. But I post this so everyone knows what they're having for dinner. And then you want to write out your grocery list. Now, this is the biggest change that I've made with meal planning. I've always used my phone, or for years, used my phone to write out my grocery list, which is pretty helpful. You know, don't want to waste paper or anything like that. So it's much easier to keep items in your phone, and those things that you buy often, you could just kind of keep them on your list. But I've currently made it a lot easier, and I know this seems like a lot of work, but it does save me time in the end. I have this big dry erase board that I write out my shopping list on first, and I have it in categories, and I have it set up the way that our Whole Foods and Trader Joe's is set up. So I have my produce in this first column, because I always see produce first in the grocery store. And then I have my juices, and I have snacks and frozen items, box items, dairy, nuts and seeds, meats, seafood, Costco's for things I go to Costco's for, and my toiletries. Now, it's not necessarily set up on this dry erase board in the order I see them at the grocery store, but I use Evernote, so my Evernote is set up the way Whole Foods is set up. You know, as I go through, I have them in that order. So I hit the produce aisle first, so I have my produce listed first, and then I have my meats. That's the next thing I hit. And then as I go down the aisle, I pretty much have the aisles memorized. So I have things categorized like that. And I have headers. I use Evernote. If I didn't say that already, I think I did. So I have headers in bold, like produce, and then meats, and then I list everything and just check mark it off. It makes life so much easier, because before I was just throwing things in a grocery list and it'd be like, oh, I forgot the strawberries, and I have to run back over, you know, because strawberries were way down on my list, so I have to run back over to the produce and get the strawberries. Now everything is categorized, so once I leave the produce, I can make sure everything is checked off and I'm done there. It is a true time saver. It's a lot of effort, you know, in the beginning, but it definitely saves time. So those are all my meal planning tips that I could think of at the moment. Meal planning is also handy if you have children in school and they take their lunch. It's nice to plan out what they have for lunch. I have not gotten that good at it yet. My son has a lot of typical things that he takes. Like if I have soup on Thursday, he usually takes it to school on Friday, or either I will save a little bit of it and freeze it, and that way he can have soup at school at least one day a week. He has salads, lots. I fix salads a lot for school. And some leftovers for dinner. Work a lot of times in a thermos for school. So those are my meal planning ideas. I hope it helps someone out there. If you have any ideas out there that you would like to share, please let me know so we can all learn from each other. But I thank you again for watching this video, and have a great day.